ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, February 4th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We got football to talk about for tomorrow. It's going to be National Signing Day. There's going to be an event in conjunction with that for Big Green members. We've also got basketball coming up tomorrow as the Thundering Herd will take on Arkansas State. We will begin our pregame 8 o'clock right here and on 93.7 The Dog. And, of course, the Herd looking to inch its way closer to that top spot. Arkansas State, the best team in the league. Marshall's right there. So we've got a battle for the first place spot, and Marshall can really help its cause with a win over Arkansas State. So that game coming up tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit more about that game, of course. We've got to get into what's been making the rounds as far as what's happening tomorrow. We've got the Marshall Board of Governors meeting, and those meetings are usually streamed, so you get to watch along. And sometimes they have some interesting things. If the athletic department, for example, there'll be a presentation. And so you see those things. And the minutes get released a little early as far as, hey, here's what the agenda is going to be. And it's been going around for a while. We knew it was coming, not exactly in what shape or form it was going to happen. But if you go back, I think we were even talking about this last year. We've had a few conversations about what could happen with the Shewey Building. And the other thing that we've talked about is the getting rid of those ugly end zone seats and doing a party deck. That's the big thing for me, right? Get rid of those things. Now, in the meeting tomorrow, there's going to be discussion about some improvements to the Shewey. Now, you could go back, and I don't know which exact episode it was, but if you were keeping track, we talked to John Sutherland several months ago. He's the executive director of the Big Green over at Marshall, and he talked to us about, hey, we've got plans, we've got an idea for what we want to do with the Shewey. We want to put, a deck over there. We want to put a viewing deck so people can watch the game from the Shewey. And so the pictures have been going around, and you can actually see it now if you do the search of what the proposal looks like. But Marshall is going to make some modifications to the Shewey Building. Now, the first thing that I'm happy with, and it's not that I'm against the signage, the scoreboard on the Shewey always bothered me. I didn't like it. Even before the video board with that scoreboard that was up, I think that was the one that went in when Pruitt was still the coach. I didn't like that then. It had the basic scoring information, and I just didn't like it. It was functional, but didn't like the execution of it. And then you put the M over there, on the Shewey, and I always thought that, okay, we're kind of just, I don't know if it's because you couldn't put it above the Shewey, over the Shewey. You couldn't come up with something that was a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. You could have come up with something that blended in with this stadium a little bit more, but you just tacked it on to the Shewey, that M. And I get it. It was neat at the time. You got the M-shaped scoreboard, but I just always have been bothered by the look of the Shewey. It kind of felt just tacked on, like those end zone seats that I have talked about since those seats were installed years and years ago, how just tacked on it is. And I don't necessarily like it. I've kind of always been of the mindset that, look, if you're going to do a major capital improvement, do it right. Don't do it because you think, okay, we need to bolster our numbers quickly here for seating. And that really went nowhere. The push to increase seating so you could possibly get into the Big East, I know that was some of the things that were being talked about at the time. And I'd like to see some serious thought put into the capital improvements to Joan C. Edwards Stadium. The bathrooms have always come up, and we could rehash that all we want. But this is a project that we kind of have known about for a while, and so it's going to be discussed more tomorrow. But there's going to be some additions to the Shewey, and we're going to get your text in. I've already got a couple of people texting in, and we're going to do that. 304-396-TALK, 396 8255. But the whole idea of this is it's right now in the documents, it's the Shewey deck. So the Shewey deck is going to create new premium space for Marshall. This is for football fans, and it's going to be a dedicated club space. This is not just the outside porch there. You're going to get a dedicated club space. You're going to get a new outdoor deck. You're going to get field level seating, and you're going to probably pay a pretty penny for that. Now, and the good news is, at least hear me out here. It's good in one way, maybe not in another. Long term, though, it could be better if the money's spent this way. The project is not going to be financed by Marshall University. So don't be tweeting me. You know who you are, where the money's coming from. It's coming from Athlete Advantage LLC. And that's the company that manages the Thunder Trust. This is Marshall's NIL collective. And so we're looking at a naming right being sold for this. That's going to be $100,000 annually for 10 years. And the whole idea of this project, and we're going to talk more about it, is it's going to add, one, the premium experience, and this is going to be high dollars. I'm sure we're talking about high dollars here. And this is going to be a revenue generator for NIL, because Marshall, along with other Sunbelt institutions, getting set for the potential NCAA revenue sharing model. So we're looking at a facility, and it should be done for game time. Before season starts, it should be done, which will enhance the game day experience for certain fans and generate revenue. Now, what's going to happen in between now and then? Is it going to get put together in time? Is it going to be ready to go? We've got questions, and we're going to find out more, of course, about it tomorrow. But we're going to get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our number to be a part of the show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we'll look at the document a little bit more, what the capital project program statement is, and what it's going to cost, what it's going to run to keep it. There's even funding to keep it clean. You know what? Daily cleaning, event cleaning supplies, $500 per event, 12 events annually, about $6,000. That's what we're looking at here. That's the cleaning. But there's some expenses here. We'll get into all of that with you, and then we'll get your thoughts on it. What do you think? For those of you that have seen it, what do you like about it? What do you not like about it? For those of you that will benefit from it, what is it about this project that's going to excite you as a donor? If you are someone that doesn't get a chance to take advantage of this, what do you like about it? What do you not like about it? And is this the direction Marshall should be going with facility upgrades? Should Marshall be focusing on the other project first? Or do you just get the projects you can get done first, get them done, get to the next one, get to the next one, get to the next one, knock them out in order that you can get them completed instead of just waiting around? We'll do that after we get this. No, just get it done. You can get this one done first. Okay, do it. Get the next one, do it. Okay. You see where I'm going with that. What do you think? Is this a good use of Marshall's time, energy, and resources? And is this a good use of potential NIL money? Spend money to make money, right? All of that, we'll talk about it. We'll break it down with you. What do you think? Do you like the design? Is it aesthetically pleasing? Could it be better? Would you do something different? Are the sight lines going to be any good for those folks that are sitting on the field? You're sitting on the field. You got that field level seat. You're going to be able to see the action. Of course, you're going to be over the Shewey. What's this going to be like game day for you? What do you think? All of that, we'll talk about it. We'll break it all down with you when we continue. And the text line this hour, again, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity to win some tickets today. I've got a 4-pack of tickets. We're going to the game tomorrow. Marshall taking on Arkansas State. 9 o'clock tip. I've got a 4-pack of family 4-pack. You want to take the family? I got you. How do you win those tickets? Well, longtime listeners know you text to win. I'm not that hard. I make it easy for you. So if you're new to the program, you just stumbled upon us for the first time, thank you for being a part of it today, and we are welcoming you aboard. And we'll give you that opportunity to win by participating with our text line this hour. You can talk about what we're talking about if there's something else that you want to talk about. All you have to do is send that text in, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You can also find me on X, that's formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. We'll be talking about this when we continue here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138, visit Prevnar20.com, or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Hey, Tri-State. Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want. From the biggest game in professional football, NBA, NCAA basketball, and the NHL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thanks, Dave. Looking forward to catching up again with you tomorrow, 10:06 a.m. right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Welcome back to today's edition of The Drive. Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll get to some of your texts in just a moment. Let's reset what we've been talking about. So it's going to be discussed at the Marshall Board of Governors meeting. It's pretty much a done deal. I would think so. I don't want to say this is a rubber stamp deal, but Marshall's Board of Governors will consider a $1.8 million football upgrade to the Shewey Building. So what exactly is Marshall planning? Well, this is going to be what's described as a premium space to watch Marshall football games. It's going to be a dedicated club space, a new outside deck, And there's going to be field level seating configuration. And there's also going to be new stadium seating configuration in the stands directly adjacent from the new field level seating on both the east and west side. So there's going to be some additions. So new field level seating, that's probably the big one, and new stadium seating in the stands, right adjacent from the new field level seating on east and west side. This is also going to include a proposal which will have a $1 million naming right. This is going to be $1 million in naming rights gift. It's described as a gift from a respected and valued business entity, sounds like it's already there, who will then have the naming rights for the dedicated club space, which will be $100,000 annually for 10 years. The proposed financing plan, according to the statement, is no investment for Marshall University. Fully funded by Athlete Advantage. This is the managing group of the Thunder Trust. This is Marshall's NIL organization, the collective for Marshall. And Athlete Advantage will be the entity that will offer memberships to this, quote, premium club level experience. And then they're going to use the proceeds, according to this statement, from those memberships to pay the construction cost on the deck project. The deck will also serve as a revenue generation for NIL opportunities, which they will use exclusively to support Marshall student athletes. So here you go. The project site located on 3rd Avenue, the Shewey Building. And I'm sure there are going to be some interesting reconfigurations. I know some offices have been moved around already. So this is already the area that serves as the athletic administration football staff office building. And this will be home of the deck and the club. And now the statement says this project will not move forward unless a naming rights gift is secured and the memorandum of understanding acknowledges that all construction costs will be managed by Athlete Advantage LLC. So why are we doing this? Well, doing this because, according to the proposal, the statement, Marshall will be joining other Sunbelt Conference schools preparing for permissible revenue sharing model pending the formal adoption of NCAA versus House settlement agreement. The entire Sunbelt Conference has also voted to opt in to roster limits, and you're going to have the ability to share revenue with current student athletes. So all of this is going to cost. You ready for the price tag here? Construction costs, $1.5 million. The design fees, $82,500. The contingency, which is 20%, $316,500. So the total for this project is $1,899. Now, what's it going to cost to operate this? Well, staffing, it's all right there. Utilities, all right there. It's all part of the normal maintenance already. So, that's not going to cost anything extra. Now, got to keep it clean. So that's going to cost $6,000 a year. I'm sure that'll go up. And the design is interesting. First of all, you're going to have a deck overview, which I'm sure that's going to be the better seating, honestly. And it's not really seating. It's just a deck. You're going to be standing there. And the removal of the old scoreboard. I'm happy to see that go. And so there's going to be some club level seating. Of course, the herd will still run through the center doors. I'm sure you're still going to have access to the Shewey. I'm curious because you can't really tell from the renderings what the east and west side, what the tunnel areas look like, how that's going to be reconfigured. It's not exactly perfect, but you're going to have access. It's going to basically be a new porch, and you're going to be able to access stairs that'll take you down to the field. And it looks like there's going to be an extension already that's going to kick out. If you've seen the renderings, you understand what I'm saying. If you haven't seen the renderings, it's going to be, I'm curious to see what it looks like in real life. But Marshall getting its club seating, its premium seating for the stadium. Now, what do you think? Is this the right move for Marshall? Is this the right end zone to be focusing on right now? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter wants to know, or actually, first off, Texter writes in and says, Paul, I really like the idea and concept, but the first rendering just doesn't look good, in my opinion. Also, will there be a new scoreboard somewhere in the design? Stadium still needs a good cleaning, pressure wash, press box, and paint where you can. All the black signage makes it look dingy also. Appreciate the text. I don't think there's going to be a scoreboard in addition to the new party deck, or, well, let's not call that the party. This is the Shewey deck. Let's refer to this as the Shewey deck. Taking the scoreboard down. Now, the scoreboard is end of life. It's old, outdated. It's not something you can just fix and maintain. So it's lived its life. Parts you can't get those anymore. This thing breaks, so you're getting rid of this thing, and I'm happy for that. The only thing that I would have liked, if you could have came up with a scoreboard that was over the Shewey, I don't know what that's going to cost you and what the true benefit of that would be, but it would be cool if you had a Shewey scoreboard over the building, or if you're leaving that for future expansions, who knows what you might want to do with the Shewey, but scoreboard is going to be on one end only, and the ribbon boards look like they're going to be the two ribbon boards that are on the Shewey that are going to be on the top of the building. I think those are the only things that we're going to see there from the Shewey other than the deck. Texter says, Paul, I got to read these first. On the subject of upgrades to our facilities, I wish they would upgrade the PA system at the Henderson Center. Half the time you can't understand what's being said. Appreciate the text. The acoustics in there, just not great. I agree with that 100%. The acoustics in there. Now, I'm in the end zone now. You know where I'm at. I'm up in the deck over the original party deck, right? I'm up there a little bit. So the acoustics are a little bit off. I struggle with that as well. So, that should be something that I would hope that in the future Marshall can address a little bit better as well. That's a big concern. You want to be able to hear what's being said on the PA, announcements, commercials, anything like that. If you can't hear the commercials, what good are the commercials, right? Back to our text line. Are they going to be renovating, Paul, the entire building or just adding the deck onto the building? Well, I think what we're going to see from this and this proposal, and again, it's available online. If you know how to watch the Board of Governors meetings, you can find this stuff out. They post this stuff ahead of time. And so there have been some infrastructure improvements to the Shewey already. I don't know if I'm going to highlight all of that because, a lot of this is technology inside, Wi-Fi, things like that. I'm not sure if I'm excited about this, but okay. So April on the timeline is going to be demolish existing video board, which is described as beyond lifespan. And then from April to August, the construction of the deck is going to be about 4 months. And so I'm looking at the renderings. You're going to have to, of course, build the infrastructure. I think it's the deck, the party deck is going to be similar to maybe the style and design, if I'm being honest, to what we see over at Jack Cook. There's going to be an awning. So the seats are going to be on the field level, and those will be under the deck. The deck will have an awning. And it looks like with the deck, they're going to have to renovate all the spaces inside that level, at least that side of the Shewey. Because the way the rendering describes, of course, it looks like you have at least 3 or 4 entryways to this deck from inside. And, of course, you also have the entryway on the side. And I'm sure that will be a little clearer. And it looks like the center area, second floor, it's like the multi-purpose room now. It looks like that is going to be, I don't think they're going to put doors there. Let's see. I'm looking at some of the descriptions. See, again, we're looking at some of these designs here, and I'm sure this is going to, be subject to change. But it looks like, at least in the architect's plan, I think you're going to have the center areas that are going to be worked on in the Shewey. Looks like there's 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 entryways there. There's going to be stairs that'll be added so you can walk from the deck to the downstairs. So basically the new balcony addition is going to have some stairs as well. And The goal here, according to the documents, to construct an elevated steel balcony and roof around the 3 sides of the Shewey Building that face the football field. 3 existing rooms with the Shewey Building will be renovated to act as luxury box spaces at the balcony level. The renovation scope shall include selective demolition, new finishes, lighting, and revised storefronts to provide access to the balcony area. 2 new bathrooms will be constructed at the field level, 1 on each side of the Shewey Building adjacent to the corner. New chairback seating will be constructed below the balcony on tiered rows at the field level. I think that answers your question. I hope it does anyway. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our text line. Here's a basketball text. Yeah, we got a game tomorrow. We can't forget about that. Texter says, Paul, I can see both teams hitting 90-plus points in this matchup. Possible overtime. Despite Arkansas State's record, the Thundering Herd will prevail. Hot three-point shooting and stellar defense. Obino will have 6-plus blocks. Herd 96, Red Wolves 92. Can we get this in regulation, though? That's all I'm asking. Can we do this in regulation? Hey, tip-off's going to be 9, game will end a little bit after 11. I'm thinking about 11:30, 11:45 I get on the air maybe. I'm hoping a little sooner than that. Come on. Can we avoid overtime? I appreciate the text. Let's get more of your stuff in. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're having a good time today. I kind of feel like I'm actually having fun. This is kind of just more of a casual conversation we're having today. I appreciate that. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hit the road with the all-new University Ford. Shop our inventory of new Fords and used vehicles starting below $20,000. Fifth Avenue, Huntington. And online at universityfordwv.com.
We are University Ford.
Driving tradition forward. You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavallette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want. From the biggest game in professional football, NBA, NCAA basketball, and the NHL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Save big money right now at Menards. Adding Knauf fiberglass insulation to your home is an effective way to keep warm and lower your utility bills by 15%. Plus, you can stack on savings with additional federal tax credits on qualifying energy-efficient upgrades. Get a roll of R13 craft-faced fiberglass insulation for $12.99. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Hit the road with the all-new University Ford. Shop our inventory of new Fords and used vehicles starting below $20,000. Fifth Avenue, Huntington. And online at universityfordwv.com.
We are University Ford.
Driving tradition forward.
Listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, this is regarding the new additions to the Shewey Building. Texter says, Paul, those field-level seats look terrible. Not a really good way to enjoy the game. Appreciate the text. Would you get those seats? If you could get one of those seats, would you get those seats to watch the game from the field level? Now imagine, if you haven't seen the renderings just yet, just imagine seats in front of the Shewey Building and maybe 4 or 5 rows. Now the good news is you'll have a bathroom right there. That could be worth the price of admission right there. But is that a good spot to watch the game? The attraction is going to be, of course, the deck itself. That's going to be the attraction. And you're going to have spaces that will act as luxury box spaces at the balcony level. So that's going to be the big attraction. You're going to have this space. You can entertain while you're at the game. You could even maybe watch the game. I know for some in a lot of the luxury boxes, the game is secondary, and that's fine. That's fine. You're at the game. You're having a good time. For some people, they're there to watch the game. But this is an opportunity, obviously, to generate some revenue for NIL. Should Marshall, the athletic department, focus on the other side of Joan C. Edwards Stadium first, the proposed party deck? Should that have been the higher priority? Or is this a case of get this one done, let's get this going, and then that's coming because that's going to be a little bit more of a logistical headache. You got to get rid of that end zone, obviously. You got to get the funding. You got to get the funding to secure the building of that structure. But yeah, you can get this one done. Knock this one out. Shewey Building's there. Build this deck. Build this extra area here. Renovate these spaces. Now you have an opportunity. You can generate some name, image, and likeness money. You can entertain, make some more money. Imagine what you could do there. You could have special events. And one of the things that always seems to be in demand, and depends on where you're at, but yeah, there's a lot of people that would like to have an opportunity to have a suite at the ball game, at the stadium. You want to have a suite. And so if you have that suite space, you can generate more revenue. I always thought that Marshall should have years ago invested in more so than what it's done already, but Marshall should have invested in expanding the press box area, expanding the suite. I call it the press box. If you talk to a guy, whose job is to sell suites, it's not the press box, it's the skybox. To me, old school, it's the press box. I would expand that further. I would, come up with ways to expand the suites, and that's adding on to it. And of course, you already where the camera deck is, and you still have the camera there, but the camera deck, there was some dedicated seating. Now, does that still get used? Obviously, probably yes. But, what's going to be the premium experience now? Is it just that camera deck seating? Is it going to be, oh, no, we got to be over here in the Shewey now because we got the Shewey space. We got the new luxury room. We got the bathrooms. We have the on-field seating. What's it going to look like when it's all said and done? And, of course, I'm sure with the luxury box spaces, it's not going to be a situation where you're selling concessions because that's not what happens. You got the big green room in the press box at the stadium, so you can get your concessions if you're in the boxes, if you want to get concessions there. And a lot of that is, again, for the big green seating, but the luxury boxes are usually catered. So, what's that going to be? The big one, though, is the space, so you can sell the space and you're going to recoup your cost. And then you're going to generate money, which is going to be put towards NIL because NIL is here to stay and there's going to be more demand for it. There's going to be more of a focus on paying players, standard paying players, so you can match others. You don't want to be one of those institutions that say, look, we can't do this. The Sun Belt's all in on this. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Here is a non-Marshall question. Texter says, hey, Paul, what is your Super Bowl prediction? Well, if you believe the conspiracy theories that the NFL favors the Chiefs and the officials favor the Chiefs, honestly, I think until it's proven otherwise, Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback to beat. I think the Chiefs are the team to beat. I'm going to say the Chiefs until proven otherwise. The last time that Mahomes lost in the playoffs, it was against Joe Burrow. So I think that's a long stretch. My money's on the Chiefs right now. But the Eagles should make it a contest. I don't think this is going to be one of those blowout Super Bowls where we all tune out after halftime where the other team is just throttled the other side. One team has throttled the other. I like a close game, but I think the Chiefs win this one. Back to the text line. Texture says, Paul, On-field seating fits perfectly for basketball, not football. As cool as it sounds, I'd be hesitant to pay high dollar for that experience. Appreciate that text. That's a good point. What's the tolerance level going to be for how much you're willing to pay for that experience? Now, I'm pretty sure that this has been thought out already. This has been thought out. What's the demand for this type of seating? And does this make the on-field experience a little bit more premium? And that means you don't see everybody with a pass so they can just stand on the sidelines. Now, that's going to cost you a little bit more. That isn't one of those, well, hey, you've been such a good donor, we're going to give you a pass and you're going to be on the sideline. Or, what if you look at that now as, okay, you've been such a good donor, we've got a new opportunity for you. Here's this club level in the Shewey, and you get this Shewey deck, and you get field level seating. You get to go and watch the game. You get this space. You get these seats. We've got field level restrooms as well. It's going to be great. Here's what it costs you. Because if you're paying for that experience, you're paying because you want to be on the field, right? You want to be on the field. You want to watch the game from that end zone seating. And you're looking over and somebody's just got somebody didn't pay for that opportunity, or maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know how that would have worked. But somebody's just standing on the sideline there, just watching the game, and you've paid a pretty penny so your family could watch the game from that experience of being on the field. I'm sure that you're going to look at new ways, if you're the university, to, okay, how can we maximize what we get from people who are willing to pay for these experiences? Now it's not enough just to say, hey, you've been such a good donor, we're going to do this for you. Maybe it's, hey, you're such a good donor, we're going to give you first opportunity to do this. Or this is the opportunities that we have at your price level. This is what you can expect for this level of donation. You want to sit in the stands? We got great seats here. You want to sit in the end zone in the Shewey deck? You want to be in this experience? This is what this costs. It costs a little bit more to be over here now. Now, if you want to sit 50-yard line, choose your seat. This is how you want to support the herd. This is what you can do. Great, we got this plan for you. We got this option for you. But if you want to spend a little bit more, we've got this new suite area opening up. And once those suites and this area gets built and that opportunity is presented, it's going to be very hard to get those away from people. And then does this open up with somebody go, you know what? We want this experience over being up in the skybox. So we'll take this opportunity. We'll pay more. That'll free up a skybox, right? Yeah, I'm sure that there might be one or two that jump, maybe. Or this is going to be an even higher cost. And so you might just get one. Like this is the experience we want to be closer to the action. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. But again, I like the concept. I appreciate that text earlier. On-field seating, it's more of an intimate experience when you're at the basketball arena. I get it. Press row, when there was a real press row on the sideline of Marshall or most college arenas in the country, and that's disappearing more and more to open up those seating opportunities for those Jack Nicholson seats for schools and programs across the country and teams. And it's intimate. You're down there. Those are really great seats. You're up close and you can hear everything, and the sweat, you get hit with the sweat or the ball. You can get hit with a ball several times. It's a great experience. So that translates. What's that experience going to be when you're in the end zone? You're sitting under the deck, and the action's taking place on the other end zone. What's that experience going to be for you? Now, if you're on the deck, you're watching the game standing from the deck, that's cool. But again, I don't know if those seats necessarily or that experience is just for I'm going to go watch the game. That's the experience I want. I'm just going to go watch the game and be there to see all the action. I don't think that necessarily, that's the experience for you. If you're there to watch the game, get into the game, I think that's more of, again, you're in a situation where you're entertaining people, you're having a good time, and the game's going on while you're at the game and you're having this experience. But I don't know if it's the experience that's the big selling point of this upgrade, or it's the game from this vantage point. That's the experience that you're looking for. I think it's the experience. And the game is just the venue, the event you're at to have that experience. Here's an interesting one, then we're going to hit the break. Texture says, not knowing local codes or insurance requirements, will the fireworks have to go if the deck is built? I like the fireworks, but if they have to be sacrificed to keep the herd competitive with NIL money, so be it. No, I don't think that necessarily is going to change because those fireworks are shot from the roof. And so, yeah, you can always just reposition them. I don't know if that's actually a major concern or not. But again, like yourself, I don't know the codes. I don't know if the fire marshal is going to do it. I like the fireworks. Marshall has a very healthy fireworks budget. And the fireworks show after the game is always fun. I mean, you can't go wrong with fireworks, especially at the game. So I don't think that would go away. Or, you move that over to the other end zone. Maybe you move it to the other end zone and you move it on top of the press box, the sky box. Maybe that'd be a cool place to have it on top of that box. Quick timeout. We come back. We'll wrap it up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Final segment for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour is going to be 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. We got a full day for you tomorrow. Not sure what we're going to be able to do. Tomorrow, Marshall, National Signing Day, we will have reaction from that. And, of course, we got the basketball game coming up tomorrow as well. Marshall taking on Arkansas State. That's coming up at 9 o'clock. Tip, 8 o'clock air here and on 93.7 The Dog. Don't forget, if we missed anything today, you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. And, of course, we're going to make one of you a winner here in a minute. We've been taking your texts all show long. Even if I didn't get to all of them today, we're going to put everyone's name in a random drawing and pick one of you here in a moment, and you can win the tickets. So all you have to do is pick them up tomorrow here at the office, and then you'll have your tickets to the game. So get here tomorrow afternoon. The winner will tell you when you can come by and pick up your tickets, what you need to do to claim them. And for everyone else, when the herd's back for the final regular season homestand, we'll have a few more tickets to give you. So it's going to be a couple weeks after today and tomorrow for any of us to see Marshall men's basketball. The women, of course, will be at home, but after the next few days here, we're going to be without men's basketball for a few days at the Henderson Center. And then, of course, they go on the road for 4, and then they wrap it up with a 2-game homestand. And I think Coach Jackson pointed this out earlier. Only team in the Sun Belt, I think that's right, only team in the Sun Belt to have 2 of these long stretches where you have 4 games on the road twice. Not very good schedule. Now, it benefits the women because the women will play the home games opposite the men, but at the same time, it doesn't really benefit the men. I can get it in my head that, okay, you got to go on the road, and if you need to do a 3-game road trip, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I like the scheduling of having Marshall at home for 2, on the road for 4, home, then on the road for another 4. I know you front-loaded the schedule a little bit, but I still think toward the stretch run, it didn't balance out the way. But Marshall's starting to find its groove. 1-3 out of the last 4 on the road. We'll see if Marshall can do it again. Maybe. That's a good thing. Marshall gets that feel early for being on the road. Again, in a battle right now, get to the point where Marshall could only be playing. Wouldn't this be great? What if Marshall is just playing 2 games, and then the national championship tournament is yours, the NCAA tournament? And so you got this battle right now. Arkansas State, 18-5, 9-2. Marshall is in a situation where it's 7-4, and you can have a chance to get to that top spot. All you need is, and here's the interesting thing, it's going to be an interesting dynamic because if Troy loses to James Madison, Troy will have 4 losses. If Marshall wins, then Arkansas State will have 3 losses. And so Marshall would be in a battle for the 2nd spot, and I'll still take that. I want to see the Herd win the regular season championship, but I will take, for the tournament only, I will take the number 2 seed. If it comes down to 1 or 2, if Marshall doesn't get the 1 seed but lands the 2 seed, I'm completely good with that as a consolation because you can still win the NCAA bid by winning the tournament, and you got 2 games to go. Thanks for tuning in.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.